It is Father's Day today, and we asked you guys online, who is the most iconic dad in pop culture? So this was our poll we've been running all show, but we're going to get our final results after this segment. But let me show you your options one last time if you haven't gotten a chance to vote. So the question is, who is the most iconic dad in pop culture? So right now we have Mufasa in the lead, but after this segment, you guys might change your mind, and there is still time to change your mind. So vote or comment number 1 if you think it's Homer Simpson, comment number 2 if you think it's Mufasa, 3 if it's Darth Vader, and 4 Uncle Phil. Now, we've been talking a lot about Star Wars, and Darth Vader is now in last place for this poll. But Sam, if you're still in the comments and you're feeling hard for Darth Vader, go ahead and comment number 3. But last chance to get your vote in for the polls. But since it's Father's Day, we wanted to honor some fathers or possibly roast them, because I asked you guys on our social media platforms, what did you get from your father? What did you inherit? Was it something physically, emotionally, in your personality? I asked you guys on social media, and you guys had the gamut of answers, and we want to walk you through them. It's so funny because on YouTube, I feel like all the comments are super positive and upbeat. And then over on TikTok, you guys had some things to say about your dads, but every answer is valid. So here are some of your Father's Day shout outs. Our first shout out for Father's Day comes from Soccer Loco 23 on YouTube. They say, "My dad gave me his confidence and assertiveness. Happy Father's Day." I love that. Dads are always instilling in you some of that confidence and some of that, making sure that you're standing up for yourself and being assertive. So thank you, Soccer Loco, for sending us this comment on Father's Day. And to everybody live right now, if you missed our social media post, comment in our comment box if you want me to read your comment. What did your dad give you? What did you inherit from your dad? Or if you wanted to do one last Father's Day shout out, because again, we're celebrating here today. All right, our next Father's Day shout out online. I'll go through this quickly, but I'm gonna keep my eye on the chat, see if you guys want to say something about your dad. So our next Father's Day shout out over on TikTok, Devonta says, "A dad? What's that?" Again, it's Father's Day, but that doesn't mean everybody celebrates, doesn't mean everybody has one. So this take is also valid. So Devonta, I don't understand that. I don't feel that, but your opinion is valid in that sense. Our next Father's Day shout out comes from YouTube. Sophia over on YouTube says, "I'd say a strong and determined mind. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out here." I love this one. Another heartwarming one, another fun Father's Day shout out where her dad clearly gave her some of that determination, and we're celebrating them today. Our next Father's Day shout out on social media. This one comes from Instagram. Cami Middleton over on Instagram said her dad gave her bad knees. That's funny because I was like, the older I get, the more I'm like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. Thanks, Dad, because I can relate to this, Cammy. My knees be cracking every time I stand up from my chair. So happy Father's Day to those who also inherited some of the lesser physical things. But let me know in the comments, you guys, your Father's Day shout out. Our next Father's Day shout out from you guys in our social media comments comes from Emily Elise on Instagram. And she says her father gave her my competitiveness for better or worse. Emily, I could so relate to this one. I asked my dad recently, I said, "Dad, of your 5 children, am I your favorite?" And he said, "No, I don't have a favorite." And I said, "Okay, am I the best at sports?" And he said, "Oh, no." And I said, "Okay." But he followed up and he said, "But you are the most competitive, and you can't teach that." So while I wasn't the best at the sports in my family, I was the most competitive, and I think I got that from him. So thank you, Emily, for sending us that comment. Looks like we have some comments in the chat from YouTube. So Obella Mafia gave a Father's Day shout out. On YouTube, Obella Mafia says her dad gave them a foodie mind. I can relate to this one. I feel like my dad was the foodie as well. So Obella Mafia on YouTube says that her dad gave her the foodie mind, which is so true. On YouTube, Sam said that my dad taught me acts of service and compassion. I love that one as well. That, again, running the gamut here of some of the more integral parts of our personality or the physical ones. Obella Mafia says, "Good advice, Edgar." Okay. Obella Mafia on YouTube said that their dad gave them good advice. And then from Alina, their dad gave them love. And I don't want to sound sappy, but I'm pretty sure that these comments are actually going towards our very own Nick in the booth. So Nick, happy Father's Day. It looks like this is your family shouting you out for Father's Day. So Nick, you are the one with the foodie mind. You are the one that has love, and you are the one that's giving good advice. So happy Father's Day to our very own Nick in the booth. I love seeing the family hop in here. All right, let's go to our next Father's Day shout out from the social media comments. So our next social media one, I was like, oh, Edgar, oh, that's cute. I was like, I love that, you guys. How cute that they're in here shouting out our own Nick. Our next Father's Day shout out comes from MJ Moore 31 on Instagram. His dad gave him grief and male pattern baldness. Another one that you guys have me cracking up with these. Yep, I can imagine that. That is definitely two things that you might inherit from your dad. Sometimes it's assertiveness and determination. Sometimes it's a little bit of a bald hairline. But hey, it happens. It happens. Thanks for commenting, MJ Moore on Instagram. Our next Father's Day shout out comes from Miss Pudding on TikTok. And she says, her dad gave her lots of cool things, but I was so pumped when he let me choose a few of his tools from his toolbox. I love this answer because you interpret it as something you received physically. And tools from a toolbox, that is so special and so unique because that's something that'll stay with you for forever, but also just getting that little piece of him in the form of a wrench or a screwdriver. So thank you for commenting, Miss Pudding. And happy Father's Day to your father as well. I hope he has more tools that you'll inherit someday. Our next social media shout out from Instagram. Oh, looks like we have 3 here, and they were kind of all in the same theme. So over on YouTube, Rora the Tiger says, my father gave me his wittiness. Newbie Lord also says, my acerbic wit. And then Julie White on Instagram says, patience. So a lot of dads are giving the wittiness and the patience as well. I know I got a sharp tongue from my dad too, that quick wit as well, but that's also from my mom too. But I love seeing that some of the dads out there are giving their kids their sense of humor and their quick wit. So love seeing that. Thank you guys for commenting on these different platforms. And our next social media shout out, this one's interesting too because this goes not into the as wholesome one, but over on TikTok we had these answers. Dad Nerd Dude said their dad gave them anxiety. LMB said their dad gave them trauma. Buttery Toast says their dad gave them issues. And Jillian says their dad gave them avoidant attachment issues. So sometimes, you guys, the dad does not bestow happy, wonderful traits. Sometimes it is just trauma, anxiety, and a lot of issues. But hey, some people, Father's Day, that's what comes up for them, and all of those are valid. So thank you guys for being vulnerable with us and sharing that, because I know that can be a tough time, but hey, all of those perspectives are absolutely valid. Our next Father's Day shout out comes from Maggie Davenport over on YouTube. They say, I got his killer cooking skills and his nose. I was like, my dad was a cook as well, but I didn't inherit that. My sister got that one. I do lean cuisines and bagged salad kits, so sorry to disappoint you there. But I do think I also got my dad's nose, so I feel you on that one, Maggie. Again, thank you guys for commenting, and make sure you're following us on social media so you can catch all these next time. But over on Instagram, Dre Patrick said that their dad gave them the gift of the game of football or soccer, which has enriched my life in so many ways. Dre, I can absolutely relate to this one, that I feel like my dad also instilled in me a lot of that sports knowledge and love for sports. Again, how Emily said competitiveness, but the fact that it does enrich your life in so many ways and stays with you, that I think that's something that we should credit our dads for. So shout out to Dre's dad, and thank you, Dre, for commenting. Our next social media post comes from Jamie Noel. Similarly, in the same vein, her dad gave her resilience, love of cooking, and love of sports. And fun fact, this is my sister, and I just told you that she got all the cooking skills. She answered as well, and she proves it that my dad gave her all the cooking skills and the love of sports. But I can attest to that he definitely gave our resilience as well. So thank you, Jamie, for commenting on Instagram. But our next social media shout out comes from me. This is my TikTok account, and I agree with Jamie in a way. I didn't know that she posted that. I already had posted this, but I said, my dad gave me strength and integrity in standing up for myself and what's right, and my love of sports and politics. So happy Father's Day to my dad out there. I think you're the best dad in the world. some of these comments might disagree because these are also some wonderful things about their dads, but my dad absolutely told me to stand up for what I believe in, to have integrity. And like we were saying at the beginning of the show, I've been out there protesting. I've been trying to use my platform for the greater good. And I definitely think those values were instilled in me in my own father. And so I really appreciate that. And again, my love of politics also comes from him. We love to go and watch our politics and sports every time I go over. So I'll be over later today to celebrate my dad. But if you're watching this at home, let me know in the comments if you're celebrating Father's Day and what you're going to be doing, because today's Dad's Day. Dad's Day is usually pretty chill, so we'll see how that goes. But happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Again, a super happy Father's Day to Nick in the booth. We couldn't do this show without him. We love him, and we appreciate that. But if you guys aren't following me on social media, make sure to follow me. I am on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at JC Aaron. So you can check out all of our posts coming up, so you're involved in our polls, you get to get your voice heard in these comments, and you get to participate in our live interactive show.